Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so today we have the 9 of Cups, which has everything to do with happiness. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what the tea leaves want to show us. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It's free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a like or a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, enough of that nonsense. All right, let's see what's going on here. So it looks like we have a Scorpio or a scorpion in the mix up here. We have the body, the little claw arm thingies. Definitely I feel like this is somebody who is from maybe a previous engagement, right? Maybe not engaged to marry, but some kind of entanglement. You know, maybe you dated, maybe you were married. I don't know, but I do feel like they're a past thing. Somebody from the olden days, right? But they seem to hold quite a place in your heart. And I think that this is definitely maybe one of the great loves of your life. Now I'm looking at this heart right here, okay? Now we also have a C. It looks actually like CC, maybe. But I feel that there really is, I almost wonder if when you were together, financial things were probably a little more stable. Now I'm looking over here, we have a person with their arms out and they're holding a large fish. You can see the tail, here's the body. This is the head of the person, arm out, maybe wearing a dress or an apron or a robe or whatever it is. And kind of holding on to this fish. So I kind of wonder if this is a situation of financially, domestically, we're good, right? We were a good match. We maybe made really good partners or worked together well. We figured out how to kind of elevate our financial situation. But, right, and there's always a but, there's just something within the relationship that just did not work, right? And I wonder if this was, I don't know, that you weren't really that in love with them, or maybe you really were and they just were kind of, I don't know. Immediately I kind of thought, were they not faithful, right? Was there something with infidelity? Now, it might not be that they were meeting other people or another person. It could have been that, yeah, even though you were making money together, there was some kind of, financial power trip, or they were spending money, recklessly or whatever. It could be that they didn't have the kind of personality that really fit you in a way that you could see yourself being with this person forever, right? It's one thing to be, yeah, we're good at hustling together. We're good at, helping each other reach our goals. It's a whole other thing to think, okay, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person, through day after day after day, the good, the bad, the ugly, the blissful, wonderful. Yeah, you have to be kind of, compatible for that to be something that is going to work out. And I feel like this is maybe just a situation where it did not. Now, it might be that they are not a Scorpio, right? They maybe just are kind of a sneaky person, somebody who really kind of, you know, did you wrong. So I do have this kind of inkling, if you will. Maybe it's a little bit of a hunch here, that, yeah, they've really kind of put you off of, especially Scorpio people, but maybe, you know, dating in general or relationships in general. Maybe it is that you have gone on to meet somebody else. Maybe you're even married and this is old history, but there's still, it's a wound that has not healed itself. I think it really, you know, maybe it was one of the first big heartbreaks of your life and it has stuck with you. So, yeah, I definitely feel like there's something bringing this about. Well, there's something bringing it up. That's what I should say. Some kind of, I don't know, encounter. Maybe you know, I don't know, recently went to like a high school reunion, or, you know, you saw each other in the supermarket, or I don't know, they friended you on Facebook and you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to press yes or whatever, accept. So I think that this is something that's kind of floating around in your mind. Okay. Now I also want to look at, we have the number 4 right there. So that seems pretty important. And up here we have a dragon. You can see the head, you can see the body, you can see the wing. Now, next to them, it looks like a person kind of praying. So we are in the year of the dragon, okay? Officially, we have been for, I think since, I don't know, April maybe, or maybe it was February. I forget when the Lunar New Year happened, but yes, we are in the year of the dragon. And maybe it has not been the most successful year ever, right? Maybe there's been a bit of struggle. I feel that there's really this energy of, yeah, making some appeals, talking to the divine, kind of asking for guidance, wondering which direction do I go next? Because whatever's going on right now is not working. And I do feel like this really is centered around making money, okay? So I feel you kind of out there looking into the sky, you know, asking the divine, God, goddess, the universe, whatever it is, please help me, right? Show me the way. Give me an opportunity, because I will take full advantage of it and, you know, really show up. It's not like you're just going to get offered a job and do a poor job at the new job. I know. I think you really are right there. You want to apply yourself. You want to really dig in, you know, and make something of this, you know, not just squander another opportunity. And not to say that you're out here doing that, but listen, we've all fumbled the ball once in a while, right? So I do feel, you know, I feel you calling for this kind of break in your life. And, you know, ultimately I'm looking at that 9 of Cups and I'm thinking, yeah, I think that, you know, the universe is going to hear you and definitely work with you, okay? So do not give up. Do not be deterred from continuing to seek that, you know, fortune, that good luck, that money, that security, stability that I know that you want. We all want that, right? And so let's keep turning this. Let's take a look and see what else is going on here. Now it looks like we have a big hat. It reminds me of, and then there's a little face here. Here are the eyes, the nose, the mouth. It reminds me of a leprechaun. Immediately, I was like, okay, there's a leprechaun in here. Are you a nice leprechaun? I hope so. We have another person standing here, and we have a person standing here. Now, to me, this looks like kind of maybe a bit of a trickster. Now up here we also have a face. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Here's the hair, the kind of side of the face. Yeah. So we have a few faces here. And okay, so we'll talk about the about this leprechaun, right? So the leprechaun, of course, is kind of in the realm of the fae, and can have that kind of trickster quality. It is that when we interact with these kinds of spirits, we must really honor them. We must really kind of show up with all the gifts. They like to be gifted things. They like to be, praised and looked after. You see in kind of the old stories, a lot of like putting out a saucer of milk for them, putting out bread, putting out a little bit of cheese or lard. And of course, one of the favorite things of the fae, egg water. What is egg water? I know. I was like, when I was listening to a podcast years ago, this podcast called Mysterious Universe, right? Which I've listened to them for years, not so much recently, but only because I'm busy. But yes, great podcast. Check them out. They are Australian, which we love our Australian kin. But, their humor can be a little different. Just a little warning, right? So, anyhow, they were talking about, I think, changelings and other fae. And they said something about, you got to give them egg water. Well, what the heck is egg water? It is the water that you boil your eggs in. You boil the eggs and then you take the eggs out and let them cool. And the water is good for offering. So you would set it out in like a bowl or something, and they would, feast on it. And I guess this would be enough to keep them from, coming in and causing any kind of mischief or havoc or anything of the sort, right? Because you're giving them offerings. And so, I look at the leprechaun and I think, this is a leprechaun that looks a little bit tricky. Also, we think of the leprechaun as being kind of the holder of the gold, right? The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Good luck. So I feel like this is really a sign of good luck, but it is one that comes with, some effort. You have to kind of pay in, and I don't mean money, time, attention, being somebody who is of service, who is charitable to your community, to your neighbors, to, whatever's around, animals, plants, what have you, right? And basically getting into balance with your life. And I do believe that when we are able to kind of live this way as much as we can, right? We all falter here and there. This is when that luck really shows up for you. Not only that, I think you get into a place where you can be aware of the gifts that you're receiving, but also grateful for. And that's the big thing, is being grateful. If you think about any of the old stories of the genie, or having any kind of wishes granted, or, you know, whatever you try to obtain, the curse that can come around from trying to get that thing, right? You think of like people going in and pillaging old historical sites, right? Taking the artifacts, and then they end up with a curse, right? Because they've been where they're not supposed to be. They have not worked for you know, the great honor of being welcomed in to this most holy place with these beautiful and divine artifacts. So they take away this curse with them. So we have to be mindful, right? Even when a little bit of luck shows up, you know, we can not get clouded by it. We cannot let our head get too big. We can't get distracted from that which matters, right? And so I do feel like this is a reminder. Remember yourself, you know. It could be the chase. It could be the actual thing that you are gaining. But both of these things can cause us to kind of become something that we don't want to be, or that we never thought that we might be. And so checking in with yourself quite often, making sure, you know, you are making the choices that you really want to make, and not just kind of impulsively following, you know, the money or the resources or the power or the celebrity, or, you know, whatever it is. Now, we have these two beings over here, and I'm looking at these as kind of almost like we have the moon over here and the sun over here, right? There are different paths to take. There are different roads to go down. And, you know, I feel you kind of pulled in different directions, to be quite honest. And maybe at a place where, you know, you have to kind of sit back, get out a piece of paper, do your pro and con list, you know, really look at whatever it is that I want to change, whatever it is that I want to pursue. Is it realistic? Is it affordable? Is it going to support and enhance the journey towards my goals, you know? Or is this kind of just like more of the same old stuff? Am I falling into old cycles? Am I making choices from the kind of viewpoint or from the position of somebody I used to be, right? I find myself doing this quite often. You know, I think something's going to be really awesome or cool, and I really want to try it or do it. Here's a good example, right? And I hate to say this because I love this brand so much, but Doc Martens, okay? I love Doc Martens. I always have. You know, when I was younger, I had quite a few pairs, and they were all secondhand. I couldn't afford new ones. Except for one pair I had when I was a teenager. My grandmother bought them for me, and they were hard to break in. Well, a couple of years ago, I thought, yeah, why don't I like find a pair of Doc Martens to wear, and that would be really awesome. I always loved wearing them when I was younger. I mean, they were really cute and, you know, durable and whatever. Well, you know, maybe I'm kind of outing myself here, but I really only wear Crocs. I wear Crocs, and I have a pair of, what are those called? Like bear claw boots that I got at Goodwill for when I'm shoveling snow and breaking up ice during the winter. And that's about the most I wear. I mean, I have a couple pairs of like Vans or whatever, but I almost always am in Crocs. I even have fancy Crocs. I call them my going out Crocs. And and so I thought, hey, that's gonna be awesome. I'll get some docs. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do it because I can't be confined to a boot anymore. Now, I'm not saying anything against against Doc Martens because I love them. Shout out to Doc Martens. They're beautiful. But it is kind of, I mean, you've probably done something similar yourself, right? You think of things that you used to love, or places or people, or kind of, you know, even a belief that you had, and you kind of go back into that place and make decisions from that mind that you used to have. Well, you have evolved as a being, right? You're different. You've grown, you're older, you've had more experiences. And so, you know, I think it's important for us to really check in with ourselves as we are kind of deciding this, that, the other, and think about, does this really apply to my life as it is versus how it used to be, right? Especially if it's a nostalgic thing, then not only are you thinking from that old mind, but it's like rose-colored glasses. It's, you know, not realistic at all. And so, yes, I do. I think that while you're making kind of I think this is a big decision. They're going this way, they're going that way. Two different directions, okay? And so, either way, though, we have the luck in the middle. You know, ultimately, I think whatever you decide to do, it's really about putting your heart into it, right? Allowing yourself to really, really be involved with this choice. Not just making it and then, you know, kind of just going along, right? Barely kind of investing yourself into. No, this is a time in your life where things can really change. And I think that you feel that energy. There is a shifting. And it's not only you. It's a lot of people going through this right now. There is an awakening happening. There are dense groups of people. Now, it doesn't have to be that they're all physically in the same place, right? But there are groups of people who are intentionally working to raise the vibration, right, of the collective. And I believe that you are one of those people. Now, if you know that consciously or not, I believe that you are finding out, right? You are one of these people who we call like a light worker. You are somebody who is here to help the collective evolve. And, you know, I think that a lot of what has gone on in your life, these ordeals that you have been through, the trials and tribulations, it has all led you to this point where you are fortified, right? You've been through it. You know what it is to hurt. You know what pain is like. You know what loss is like. And you don't want other people to suffer in that way. And so I do. I feel like you are really, really focused on kind of changing the environment around you, helping the people around you come to these awakenings themselves to, you know, I don't know, maybe this is truly like you want to go live in a group of people, do some kind of communal living, or at least finding like-minded friends, maybe some kind of a group of people to, I'm going to get a drink. Hang on one second. Now I'm thinking of my sister. Shout out to my sister. She's not watching this. She's not a Sagittarius. My sister Lisa, the most wonderful. She put me on to Now we don't live near each other, but she's in like a shaman group. And before you say anything, we are native, right? We are. We're Choctaw. But yes, she's in a group where these people meet and they learn things, they work together, they help each other kind of elevate their, tools, techniques, which I think is super cool and interesting. I'm not like a social person. I would be really nervous to be doing something like that, but she loves it. She does it, I don't know, I think every week maybe. But there are a lot of things like that going on out there. Now, be discerning, right? Be discerning about the people you link up with. And especially if it involves money, please be mindful of that. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction ever, okay? Especially financially. So do your homework, right? Do your homework on who you're working with. But there are definitely groupings of people out there that are doing amazing work. Absolutely. And thankfully we have the internet, so you can find each other relatively easily. Okay. All right. Let's take a look over here. Okay. So we have fish. We do. We have a lot of fish. So money is like the big thing here. So I almost feel like I'm looking over here and it reminds me of the Lady of Sorrows right here. Now we have birds flying overhead. If you're not familiar with the motif of the Lady of Sorrows, this is Mother Mary, right? Jesus's mother. And I believe the mother or the Lady of Sorrows is Catholic. Catholicism has a deep interest in elevation of Mother Mary. Okay, so you will see kind of a lot of different motifs surrounding her, right? Different kinds of allegories. She really does represent that divine feminine consciousness, especially in the mother archetype, right? Obviously. Eleanor, right? So we have, it looks like, and I honestly believe that there's really a sense of you feeling so depleted in your interaction with somebody in your life who maybe is your child, maybe it's like a niece or nephew, somebody that you helped raise, somebody that you are a caretaker for, or you have been a caretaker for them in the past. But there is a bond there, and it feels kind of like a parental bond. And I feel like however they are living, and I imagine they were either older teenagers or younger adults, most likely, somewhere in their 20s. And it just feels like they continue to do things, choose ways to live that break your heart. I feel like there is this sense of lying. I have a backwards question mark here. Speaking untruths, or at least manipulating. And I do feel like this has a lot to do with them trying to get money from you, trying to kind of, get you to do more than you should, these are older children, maybe, like I said, they could be like full adults. But I feel like there's a sense of them really kind of taking advantage. And I feel that it really, really is so heartbreaking because you've put so much of yourself, of your time, your energy, money, you know, everything. And not that the money really matters, right? When we raise kids, it's like, you know, what are you going to do? You can't like bill them. Keep a tally of everything they owe you when they turn 18 or whatever. But, you know, yeah, it does. You think like, man, I've done so much for you. You know, why are you acting this way? Why are you treating me this way? And especially, why are you lying to me? What is going on here that you have to lie, you know, or manipulate? And so, you know, I do feel that this is something that has been ongoing. This is something that is not a surprise to you. Me telling you that I'm seeing this, you're like, yeah, I mean, yes, this has been my life for some years now. And, you know, I think that it's just gotten to a point where you're tired of it. You're tired of kind of maybe enabling this a little bit, or at least you're coming around to the idea that maybe you are kind of enabling this behavior. This dynamic continues because you haven't maybe set the boundaries that need to be set, right? And so this is the beginning of a journey here. This is a big, big shift. And it's one that seems like it's going to be maybe a little bit dramatic, maybe a little bit chaotic, but most necessary. I don't think you can continue to live this way, at least not happily, right? This verges on kind of almost, you know, being maybe abusive to some degree, right? Not on your part, but, you know, you are maybe kind of the victim in this situation. And, you know, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And so, yeah, I do. I feel you. Really wanting for things to get better, you know, and it's just, it is not going to happen if the same old things are going on, right? I'm learning this with my 4-year-old. I give in too much, I think. Well, less than my husband. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. He's a wonderful dad, but oh my gosh, does my daughter run the show? She really, truly does. So it's hard. It is difficult. But, you know, those boundaries are important. They absolutely, no matter if the kid is 4 years old or 40 years old, you know, you have to set down the rules once in a while and kind of reiterate them. So anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to look at our self-care affirmation cards, and I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. It says, the tranquil oasis. I design my tranquil space. Just as meditation quiets the mind, a tranquil space brings peace to my environment. I simplify and organize my surroundings to cultivate an environment of peace. I am relaxed and at ease in my body, and my home is a tranquil oasis. Yes, absolutely. So important. So important. Something that I think we overlook, really. Your home, especially your bedroom, right? I always kind of go on this tangent about the bedroom. But the bedroom is where you do your magical work. I mean, really, this is where you dream. There's a portal in your room where you go and lie down and you are transported. It is magic, right? So, Having a space that is organized, that is, you know, you can walk through the whole room, not just a little path, right? Keeping the floors cleaned up, keeping things put away, not a bunch of stuff like piled everywhere or on the bed with you while you're sleeping, you know. And listen, I'm guilty of all these things. I definitely have been and will be. So no judgment. But I do find that when we keep our space clean, right? Or at least picked up. That's the thing. It's not just about everything being super, super, you know, squeaky clean. It's about having things put away, having things picked up, so it doesn't feel chaotic, okay? That tranquility, it will change I mean, it does, right? I mean, just think about when you've like cleaned your house, like really deep cleaned it. Everything is in its place. Everything is clean. You know, it just has a feeling of being clean. Maybe you have like certain smells you like. It smells good, or it smells like nothing at all. It's just pristine to whatever, you know, whatever level of pristine is for you. And you walk in after a long day, and that feeling of my environment is clean and tidy and orderly. The temperature is good. It's not too loud. It's not too eerily quiet. You know, it feels inviting. It feels like you can just sigh and your shoulders are not as rigid and stressful, and you're just there, right? You've walked into this beautiful, safe, and inviting space, right? Yeah, it changes how we feel. It changes how we think. It changes really just like our ability to cognitively kind of navigate our own thoughts and feelings and everything. It's hard to do that when you're in a room that's like full of stuff. It's just falling over and it's dusty and it's, you know, and you want to change it. You don't know how to start. That's a difficult place to be in. I understand that one as well. So, yes, if you are on a journey of maybe starting to clean, or maybe it's already clean, maybe you're already got a gold star, but if you're like me, it's a constant battle, you know, baby steps, right? Making lists, doing manageable goals. That's the big thing for me. I am one of those kids that absolutely loved getting a gold star, even if I didn't do anything. You know, making manageable goals, even if it's like, okay, I'm going to clean out 1/2 of a drawer today, right? I'm going to, you know, reorganize 1/2 of the cabinet. That is super manageable, and if we continue to do it day after day, right? Obviously, you're picking, like, I did 1/2 today, I'm doing the other half tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, it adds up. It absolutely does. And then you look around and you think, man, I decluttered a whole lot of stuff here, you know? And I didn't feel like I had to do it all in one day, right? I let it just be little steps, and that is manageable. That is meetable. Yeah, and it makes you feel better about yourself. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Sagittarius, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. Yes, what was I going to say? I read them all. I really do. I read all of the comments, and especially I want to hear from people who are newer to the channel. Put it in the comments. Shout it out. All right. With that, again, I'll say I love you. I love you. I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.